Please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
This is George Stephanopoulos. He owes me $15 million. So today we're going to take him for a little ride.
Anyway, George.
You have exactly 5 minutes to pay me that money, George, or else I'm going to have to start breaking bones. You think I wasn't going to collect? Let me tell you something. I will go on your show and whoop your ass right in the middle of your friggin' show, George. I don't give a shit. I'm the boss, George. So you better have my money in cash. And if you don't have my money, then you're going to have to work for me for the rest of your life.
Well, I know how to cook. Can I be your cook?
Sure, you can be my cook.
I'll be your cook then.
But you better make everything absolutely delicious, George. I ain't around.
Okay, so how do you like your breakfast, Mr. President?
That's right, y'all. It's too much winning. Donald Trump has won a $15 million defamation case, plus attorney fees against this slimeball, George Stephanopoulos, as Trump likes to call him, because this guy tried to say that multiple times, at least 10 times, that Trump was found liable for rape when this wasn't true whatsoever. As a matter of fact, most people I've seen all over television have gotten these details wrong. So Trump technically could sue a lot of different people. In my opinion, it was kind of personal why he sued ABC Fake News and George Stephanopoulos, because one, this guy, George, is a complete a-hole and a slime bag and a sleazeball, and he has been for years.
You'll never work in Democratic politics again. Maybe you don't want to. I'm not saying it matters. You will be embarrassed before the National Press Corps. People will think, nobody will believe you, and people will think you're scummy.
Wow, George Stephanopoulos, the big man on the 1992 Bill Clinton campaign, openly threatening people with all kinds of retribution if you report a story he doesn't like or report it in a way he doesn't like, or who knows who he's talking to, but he's a real guy with an attitude, thinks he's all that.
On top of the fact that ABC Fake News, Trump went on this debate stage and they essentially had like three against one. It was Trump versus Kamala and two moderators.
Will you do another debate?
Will you do another debate? Well, we'll look at it, but they want a second debate because they lost. I mean, every poll shows they lost, and they lost badly. Now, with all of that, it was obviously 3-on-1, but I think we did great. Do you agree?
Now, for those who haven't seen the clip, I'm going to go ahead and play a part of it where Stephanopoulos and Nancy Mace were going toe-to-toe in this interview, where effectively he tried to bring up the fact that she had been raped to try to guilt and shame her into not voting for Donald Trump, saying, well, hey, if, you know, since Trump's a rapist, why would you vote for one? Why would you support one? Effectively asking her questions based off of a falsehood to begin with.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape. Just
it was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you
but
about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. For my political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who was an illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's been...
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about that.
Because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting
me. You're
someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not trying to shame you.
You are. That's exactly
what you're doing.
You're not
answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
So as you could tell, this isn't a good guy. So this is something that's obviously great for Donald Trump, and it puts the fake news on notice, okay, because you got this fool Brian Stelter. Now, I don't know if this guy got rehired or what, or if he's just a contributor, like he's working part-time, contractor or something at this point, because on CNN fake news, legacy news network, obstructionist news network, CNN, they're out here basically shaking in their boots because they know that Teflon Don could be coming for any one of them at any time, especially now with an established precedent of you not being able to just say any old crazy thing and to just get away with it, including blatantly false information.
Well, those defamation kinds of cases can also be filed by someone like the president-elect. So Trump filed a defamation suit. It was working its way through the courts. ABC was unable to get it thrown out initially. And actually, in the next few days, Trump was set to be deposed in the case. But ABC is avoiding going any further by settling. They're paying out $15 million plus $1 million in attorney's fees. They say this is going to go to a nonprofit, basically to Trump's future library. That's the idea. But maybe most importantly, Jessica, ABC is also apologizing, issuing a statement of regret. I'm just looking at my computer to get the exact wording here, but ABC is going to say, basically attach an editor's note to the website saying it regrets, and George regrets the statements. Meanwhile, an ABC spokesperson tells me they are pleased to have reached this settlement, but it is very notable. They are both paying out money to the president-elect and apologizing for the misstatements on the air.
Certainly. And what else, Brian, does this tell us about the president-elect's possible strategy for dealing with the media going forward? We know he's very litigious.
One word comes to mind, the word emboldened. Trump and his team is going to be emboldened by this settlement by ABC, because rather than fight this out any further, rather than trying to go to trial, ABC is choosing to settle. What does that mean? Maybe that means ABC had embarrassing emails or text messages or other material that was going to make the network look bad. Remember, that's one of the reasons why Fox News settled against Dominion last year. Sometimes networks settle because they don't want to drag it out any further and get embarrassed in the court of public opinion. But regardless of ABC's rationale, and they won't say why exactly they've decided to reach this settlement, it will embolden Trump and his allies who, as you've said, have shown they want to use the courts in order to achieve certain outcomes they want. In this case, they believe justice is being done by holding ABC accountable. Others would say this is a form of lawfare where you're using the courts to tie up news outlets and embarrass them and cost them, in this case, millions of dollars. I'm really struck, Jessica, by the dollar figure, by the way, $16 million. That's a lot of money for any news outlet to be paying out. And that's going to have, I think, far-reaching ramifications.
Imagine trying to say, like, this was the stupidest thing ever, that suing someone for knowingly putting out false information. They're a news network, so they know what the real is. But knowingly putting out false information, especially a veteran like Stephanopoulos, he's been in the industry for longer than I've maybe been alive. This guy knowingly put out false information and then saying, oh, you're weaponizing the justice system. These people love to project. They had no issues with Trump losing his defamation case against Whack Job Carol and her making her phony allegations, Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, Jack Smith. They had no issue with any of that. But the second that Trump uses the legal system, oh, now it's lawfare. It's weaponization of the... These people are so ridiculous. You can't say, well, we're going to sue Trump into oblivion. Oh, it's so glorious. I love seeing Trump lose. These people got a hate boner for Donald Trump. But then the second he sues, proving that, hey, you guys straight up lied on me multiple times, and you're pissing off Nancy Mace on top of that, and your freaking debates are rigged as hell. Now all of a sudden you guys out here crying. And I almost forgot to mention that this little slimeball, sleazebag, deleted his ex account after this settlement from ABC Fake News. Read it and weep. George Stephanopoulos deleted his ex account one day after he was forced to admit that he lied about Trump in a defamation suit. So his account no longer exists. Reading a couple of comments here. What a coward. Another person, coward. Off the blue sky with his tail between his legs. These media types lack testicular fortitude. Facts. Yo, petty little man Stephanopoulos having one of his little boy tantrums. What a filthy snake he was. He's a little scumbag, always has been, always will be. Agreed. That's better than AOC deleting her pronouns, and he couldn't handle all the hate that he was going to get. Oh yeah, he was going to get flamed. I mean, he's still going to get flamed. Anywhere he goes, where he actually pays attention to what's happening, oh yeah, this man is going to get destroyed, and rightfully so. If you ask me, I say he goes after the cackling hens next. So Sonny Holston, put her name right there at the top of the list. Forget about Whoopi Goldberg. Like she's a little, she's a little far too mentally ill. They might feel sorry for her. She has too much of a pedigree. Sonny Holston doesn't. She's younger, and she knows exactly what she's saying. She knows it's false. She's Trump deranged, and it would hurt her feelings. So go after her. On top of that, it's the same network. So I say sue them into oblivion because, like this is all ABC. Don't forget, this is ABC's The View. ABC News, all owned by Disney Corporation, okay? So sue the freaking pants off of them until they start shutting the hell up with all of this fakeness and falsehoods, and they double, triple, quadruple check everything before they even speak. Make them afraid to talk. I don't want to hear nothing from them. I want them to be like, well, Trump said, they don't even want to say anything. Make them fear for their lives, fear for their money, fear for their jobs, since they want you to be in fear, Trump, of going to jail. They certainly didn't want you to be the president. They don't care nothing about you and your family or nothing about the American people that support you. They still don't, even after the election. So instill a little bit of fear in them. Bring the law to them, not with fake stuff, but with real stuff, because you've been defamed, I would argue, probably thousands of times. Honestly, it's probably too much litigation for you to possibly file. But for those that are the most egregious, go ahead and file that litigation, file them defamation cases, and get them to shut the hell up. But those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Is there anything you regret?
Look, George, you're being a little wise guy, okay? Which is, typical for you.
Give me one.
There are things that you wish you didn't do, okay? You got to pay your bills. You have to pay your bills. Pay for all costs